When we saw Payback, we thought it was a good show. I'm sure a lot of people said it was an incredible show. I thought it was a good show. Building off the back of that is just Raw. And did I enjoy it? Yes. This show was enjoyable. But I do believe the WWE just made the worst mistake they could have done. Really. They could have made the worst mistake. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm cool with that. You guys tell me the reason why I'm wrong, but I will get to that at the end of this review. We didn't have that many matches. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the Battle Royal for Callisto's US title. I'm hoping they actually give him a real feud. Because he's faced Ryback now twice, ladies and gentlemen. Twice. WrestleMania and Payback on the pre-show. He's had no feud whatsoever. And then they decide, well, we're going to give him a Battle Royal. Instead of actually giving him a feud that would get him more credibility as the US champ. Having a Battle Royal sounds like it'll be a great thing to do. And in a sense it is. But the problem I see is that what they're doing is kind of like what they did with Rey Mysterio. With Rey, at one point, before they gave him the World Championship, they had to pair him up against some big guys to try and get him over. But then you really didn't get a storyline with those guys. They just threw him with those guys to try and show that he had ability. And that's what I'm seeing with Callisto. So as much as I want to say that this Battle Royal was good for him because now he's going against Rusev, really it didn't really give me anything. It would have been better if Sin Cara had won that match. Or Zack Ryder for that matter. Zack kind of got, well, Zack did get screwed out of his IC championship. So getting a US championship wouldn't be so bad for him to go after. Sin Cara could have easily turned heel in this situation. I know a lot of people don't want to see the Lucha Dragons break up. But I wouldn't mind seeing them break up if you're going to put over Callisto. And I've said this before, Callisto versus Sin Cara. If I'm even pronouncing the word right, I don't speak no Spanish. But anyway, yeah, I don't speak it. Just in case anybody wonders, because I look Spanish. I am part Spanish, but it doesn't mean I speak it. But that would have made more sense than just throwing Rusev at him. Now let's move on to the New Day. The thing I enjoyed about the entire segment, taking away with the Dudleys and the Vaudevillains and Big Cass, and I will talk about them in a moment, is about showing some type of interest and emotion in Enzo Amore. I said this in my Payback review. I know very few people even looked at it. But honestly, showing that care really gave me more with New Day. And look what happened with Big E. He botched his line, and not only did they forgive him for that, they still embraced and loved him. He said, damn, hey, thank you so much for not getting so angry that I messed up my Booty-O's line. But you get my point. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad that Enzo is okay. I'm glad that Big E was forgiven for botch, and Dave Morton was happy about it. There was no problem with their segment. Vaudevillains did great. I still love the Vaudevillains. I still need to know them. I don't remember the names yet because, like I said, I don't watch NXT, so I'm not familiar with them. I really need to start watching it. I'm being very resistant to it. I'm going to work it out. But they did very well. Came to the Dudleys, and I said either the Dudleys or the Usos are going to be the one they're going to try and do something with. And it's the Dudleys, and makes some sense. And then Big Cass came out, which really wasn't the strongest promo or segment at all. And I'm not knocking him. Usually Enzo is the one who speaks for him. He doesn't usually have to speak that much. He doesn't. He uses his appearance as his speaking. But in this case, he had to speak because Enzo is not there, and it'll probably be a month or two before he can come back. So now he's going to have to carry himself. And I don't know what they're going to do with him. I wouldn't mind him dealing with the Big Show. And I know you guys are going to say, oh no, not two big guys. Look, you kind of think of Big Cass as a younger Big Show, Paul White. Look at the two. I don't have the pictures together, and I don't think I'll put them together. But if you see them, you got a younger Paul White, a younger Big Show. So if you're actually going to do a storyline with them, saying, well, at least until Enzo comes back, where Big Show feels a little threatened because this is a big freaking guy that is as big as a Big Show, that looks like him when he was young, and thinks, well, this is kind of a bite off of me. I'll teach this kid something. But then you get a fight. And you don't even have to turn the Big Show heel. This could just be about him comparing himself to someone younger. That's what I feel. Cena's coming back on Memorial Day. Okay. Is that a good thing? Under the situation? Yeah. We need him back. Is it right that he rushes back? No, I think it would have been better if he came back in 9 months to give himself more time to rest and more time for people to miss him. But he's coming back in 5 months instead of 9. He'll be back by the end of this month. This is what you get. Or he'll be back by the middle of the end of this month. I don't remember when Memorial Day is. But essentially, he'll be back. So you guys are going to have to deal with it. The match I enjoyed the most, because I'm glad the person was finally spotlighted, was Emma versus Becky Lynch. Sorry. When you look at Emma, when you saw the Emma-lution, I wasn't too fond of it. I thought Emma had ability. I thought Emma was stuck with a really bad gimmick that didn't get over, not because it was a bad gimmick. It's because the WWE didn't push that gimmick. Because the Emma-lution, from when I did see NXT a couple of times, really did resonate with the people in NXT because they gave her time to push it. But when she went to the main roster, they did absolutely nothing with her. And then when she had to go up against a Natalya and tap out, that upset me even more. So I'm glad to see that Becky had the job here. But here's something I would love to see. Why not have an Irish woman versus an Australian woman? Couldn't you do a rivalry WWE of different countries? Ireland is independent now. She's not a part of the UK as far as I understand. Someone tell me below if I'm right or wrong. From what I understand, they're not generally connected anymore. They're their own people. They're not part of the European Union. But couldn't we have a rivalry of Ireland versus the Aussies themselves? Come on. This would be great. Or better yet, if you can't do anything like that because you're scared, why not have the two gingers together? I know she's not a ginger. And putting her with Sheamus is kind of like, what? They're not both redheads. But why not? They're both from Ireland. He's no longer part of the League of Nations. League of Nations is broken up. So why not give him someone different to work with? A woman this time. Let him work with a woman. Let her be his manager. Something different. You got two Irish wrestlers here. Actually, you got three when you look at Finn Balor, and he's going to come onto the roster soon from what I understand. Finn Balor is Irish, unless he's Scottish. And I don't know, you guys can tell me below, because I haven't really seen much of Finn as well. But come on. You got two Irish wrestlers. Put their asses together. You barely put only near the end of his run, and that is Bad News Barrett. Wade Barrett working with Sheamus. They used to be called the Monarchy. They could have done something with that, and they didn't, and I'm moving on. The Dean Ambrose segment with Stephanie. It kind of makes you think about the beginning of the show when it came to Stephanie and Shane McMahon. Seeing that Stephanie gave him back his picture that his dad shattered and said, let's work together, didn't fill me with a lot of joy. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't want to see this. I actually just want to see Shane on his own. Because I really feel like this was not necessary to stick them together. Because this really doesn't give a very good dynamic to me personally to see Shane having to go up against Steph, and then eventually they're going to have a battle which might can build into Triple H going against Shane, which is not bad, but while they're waiting for that, we got to go through them fighting one another. I just don't want to see it on the show. And this is where it really makes no sense. When you have the Dean Ambrose Asylum. I said this in my review of Payback. Why couldn't you have the Ambrose Asylum versus the highlight reel? If Dean won, he keeps the Ambrose Asylum. If Dean lost, Chris Jericho gets the highlight reel back. Now he just dropped. Well, Steph just dropped. I'm sorry to say he. She, the bitch, dropped the Ambrose Asylum, which was only on for a very short time. I mean, it was only on twice, maybe 3 times. And the problem is, I didn't care. The feud is going to keep going on, and you could see that Chris is really trying to make this interesting. And they broke the potted plant. Warren, I believe his name was. But the problem I see is that now the Ambrose Asylum is off the table, and there's no real price to pay here. It's just a fight, and it needed more. Charlotte versus maybe I shouldn't say Charlotte versus Natalya. It should be Rick versus Natalya, because this was all it was about. Because when Natalya came out, she said, this ain't about you. This ain't about your fucking title. This is about you, Rick. You messed me over for that title. Yeah, I said it wasn't for the title, but it is for the title because it's for you. Because it's not on her waist. It's around your waist. That kind of makes no sense. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Essentially, she's just saying that Rick fucked her over and she was going to get the Nature Boy on his back and put the freaking sharpshooter on him. Are you serious? It looked good. But it would have been better if Brent was involved. And now that Rick has been taken out of the picture, because Steph already told them this is going to be a submission match at Extreme Rules. You want to show how dominant you are, Charlotte? This is how you're going to do it. And Rick, you are barred. And then you look at Steph, who just did a really heelish thing, but then she turns around and does something nice, making it fair, which, like I said, it makes no sense. The dynamic is wrong. By her being there, it's throwing the dynamic off. It just is. But essentially, we're now going to see Charlotte versus a Natalya at Extreme Rules in a submission match, which I'm actually interested in seeing. We haven't seen a submission match for women in a very long time, if ever. And I believe it's been a very long time. And I want to see it. Even if they can't act very well before it happens, I'm okay with that. Finally, well, should I mention it? I'm not even going to put any images up. Tyler Breeze, Fandango, R-Truth, and Goldust. I have to put something up. I got to put one image of all of them together. Why are they still doing this? I wouldn't mind seeing Tyler Breeze with Fandango as a tag team. The dancer with the pretty boy would make some sense. The dancing flamingos. Call them that. That sounds pretty cool. Flamingo's a beautiful bird, even though it looks weird. But, come on. Having R-Truth continue with Goldust is stupid. I'm going to drop it. Finally, you got Roman Reigns and his cousins versus the Bullet... What is it? What is the Bullet Squad? I can't remember what they called it. I'm sorry. I hadn't really watched about New Japan Pro Wrestling. No, the Bullet Club. I'm so sorry. I don't really know the names of everything. I'm still kind of a novice myself. So, was it a good match? Yes. But this is where the WWE made the most serious mistake. You tried to set AJ up to become a heel. He chooses no. The Usos come in and start the freaking problem with the chair. And what does AJ do getting whacked in his back? He whacks him back. And then you get Roman Reigns angry. And now because Roman Reigns is angry, we're supposed to like him more. Because now AJ is still the bad, now has officially become the bad guy because now he hit his cousins, who are like his brothers, with a freaking chair. I said this before my Payback pay-per-view. Do not turn AJ heel in any way or it's going to backfire on you, WWE. And I believe they just did it. They want AJ to be the heel so much, unless they're playing a trick where they really want to make AJ the face and kind of do a Daniel Bryan with him. Let's be honest. This is what AJ is. He is a more older, more seasoned version of Daniel Bryan. That is more loved, that is more appreciated, and more better ability. As much as people want to say Daniel Bryan is the shit, he's nothing compared to AJ Styles. AJ is a much better wrestler. It's obvious. But if that's what they're going with, to kind of make him into a Daniel Bryan, it's not going to be pretty what they're going to do, but that's what they're going. But if they're going to do what I said earlier, make him into a heel so Roman Reigns can be the face in the situation, they just backfired on themselves. They fucked themselves up. You cannot do that with an AJ Styles. He is way too popular as a face. For him doing what he did shows that he's not going to be a heel. But after what you did doing that, and Roman Reigns supposedly legitimately gets angry, I'm sorry, it's just, if this is where they're going, next to having spit in my mouth, if this is where they're going, it's stupid. And it's going to backfire them on Extreme Rules. They still got about 3 weeks left, I believe, or 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we could see if it's going to progress even further for him to look bad. But if it is going where it is, it's going to backfire badly. But this is just my point of view. How about you? So I hope you enjoy Zane's view. Please give me a comment below. I'm actually going to be doing a booking the wrestler. I don't know if I'm going to release it today, in the same day. It may come tomorrow. And it's going to be a little bit of a surprise. It's not going to be what you think. You guys have a good day and have a good night. Peace!